I'm a scientist and fuck Trump.
Wait, you're a Zionist, you're Jewish, but fuck Trump? How does that work?
How does that work? Can you ask a more specific question?
Yeah, so explain to me, how can you be you're pro-Israel, you're Jewish.
I'm pro-peace. I'm cool with the two-state solution. If
in its modern form?
I don't think there is a modern form.
Okay, take me through a two-state solution. How does Palestine look?
I don't need to build you the country with both.
Well, you're advocating for a second state, so maybe explain to me what a second state would look like.
Well, you are advocating for a single state?
Yes.
Would you describe to me exactly what happens around the entirety of the country if I ask you what you would want?
48.
Yep.
You would want the 48 borders.
Absolutely.
Okay.
Not 48 borders. No, we want the whole thing to be Israel. But what would happen to the citizens? What would happen to the people who live in Israel that are Muslims or Arabs or identify as Palestinians? The same thing that happened in 1948. All of them became citizens, and they still live in Israel to this day.
And can they vote?
Yes, they do. Right now they do. Yes,
I know.
they sit in the Knesset. They sit on the Supreme Court.
Israel many times. You
So
don't have to tell me about
that's what would happen to the Gazans. That's what would happen to the people in Judea and Samaria.
What your view of it was.
See, the problem that we both have there is because if you're going to advocate for a two-state solution in its current form, you're going to have Hamas.
I didn't say it in my.
Well, well, we need to do something about it.
Let's go, Brandon.
I don't know who Brandon is, but I like that guy.
You're saying let's go, Brendan, in terms of the president you like, Joe Biden.
Oh, Brandon? I haven't heard of this.
Okay, so the problem I have with two-state, the problem with a two-state solution right now is that if you're going to give Gaza as a state, that's going to be under the control of Hamas.
Absolutely, or the PA, and both would be terrible.
And then you have Judea and Samaria becoming a second, another portion of the state, right? And that's under the control of somebody else. So
I don't like it.
So what do we do?
It's not an easy question, but I also.
So we don't maybe offer a second state right now, right? It seems like the best solution is a one-state solution.
I would say that there isn't really a two-state being offered right now. Offered is a strong word, just because there are countries that are acknowledging a Palestinian state's existence doesn't mean that there are actually two-state solution options on the table.
No. Let me ask you this. With the actual civilians in Gaza, do you think that they would prefer to have a second state under the governance of Hamas, or they would rather become citizens of Israel?
One in Gaza and one in Shimron, or
like I'm saying, Gazans, civilians, like very civil. They don't support Hamas.
Okay.
Would they rather have a second state as Palestine under the governance of whatever comes next?
No, I think in general people thrive when there's positive economic development and value, and
like in Israel, right?
Absolutely, there's
so it makes sense
there are
that
tons of Arabs and Palestinians and Muslims and Christians living in and around all of Israel proper.
Correct, exactly. So it doesn't seem like a two-state solution is something that even the civil people in Gaza or the West Bank would have.
I would have said that a two-state solution is not possible, but it doesn't mean that it isn't something that I think we should strive for. Do I think that Jordan is essentially a Palestinian state? Yes. Do I think that
it is, right? I mean, it is
60% Jordanian.
Yeah.
Sure. I mean,
90% Palestinian.
Yeah.
No, sorry, I meant it's like 70% Palestinian. It's not 90% Palestinian.
Do you think it is 90%? Do you think that
I don't know when that stat was
I'm friends
from.
with the opposition leader to the king. Do you think?
Okay.
Do you think
Yeah,
that? Do you think that Trump is good or bad for Israel?
I think that Trump is bad for Israel. I mean, I don't think Trump is great for Jews in general in the United States or anywhere in the world. I mean, I think.
Why?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. I'm not just gonna say it. Look, I have not necessarily I grew up in Montgomery County. I haven't necessarily come across a ton of personal anti-Semitism in my life, although, I can count on more than one hand the amount of anti-Semitism I've come across, but I'm the grandchild of Holocaust survivors. And I think that supporting Jews under the guise, I don't really want to be in your video, under the guise of pro-Israel, supporting Jews under the guise of
Can I be honest with you? We're going through some crazy mental gymnastics to say that Trump is bad for Jews.
No, like me trying to play this out, the mental gymnastics?
Yeah. You're having a hard time figuring out or giving me the example of why.
I was doing work down there and I saw you guys. Actually, I saw the the Chassids, and I was like, I'm going to go over and see what
You don't
this
like
guy is.
these people, right? Like,
Well,
this,
I think Sadmar Chassids who are advocating for the destruction of Israel are fucking ridiculous, because after the Mashiach comes, they're going to go to Israel. Like,
thank you.
it makes
They
no
say
sense. They're
why,
like, they're
why do you-
anti-Zionists because the Mashiach hasn't come. They don't actually believe in
and
anti-Zionism.
eventually, when the
It's
Messiah
absolutely
does come,
bullshit.
they want Israel
They
to be
will-
founded on Jewish law, right?
Jewish law. They want all Jews to move there once, and they would have no problem.
What do you think
getting
about-
rid of every single Palestinian?
what do you
as
think
soon as
about
the
them
Mashiach
lying?
comes?
What do you think about them
it's
lying
super
about
fucked
that?
Up. I think that's pretty disgusting and questionable for Jews. As I think Trump is, and we can get back to the mental.
We go from
gymnastics
agreeing to a
you're
little back to
accusing me.
disagreeing.
You're
No, because the reason I said
two Jews, three opinions. What do you want?
Sure, that's how it always is, right?
Exactly.
Good thing there's not a dollar laying around.
Yeah, actually, there's actually a corner of 100 under your foot. Right
No.
there. No, legit though. Under your shoe, there's a corner of a $100 bill.
That is funny. Put that in.
Spot by the way.
Hashem, thank you so much. God bless you.
I'm sorry to interrupt. Is your son, has anybody proven it?
No.
I was told though, I'm from San Francisco, but I
Okay.
definitely was, my understanding that there are different definitions that folks are going by, and that's where it lies.
I think that's
My
a.
personal opinion about the word apartheid is that it was created to discuss the major issues in South Africa.
I'm clipped up still.
But apartheid, there is a
There
definition
is
for
a definition of apartheid,
And just from my
and it
independent
was-
research.
It has to be racial segregation, right? So apartheid was created by South African white people. The word apartheid comes from an Afrikaans word for apartness or separateness. Okay, so it's their thing. Like, it was called apartheid in South Africa. It's what they called it. So if you're going to say something is apartheid, it's going to have pretty stark similarities to apartheid in South Africa. Just like,
don't think it's been proven.
well, one second.
Obviously.
Just like, for example, right? If a genocide is happening, right, you would call it a genocide, not a Holocaust, unless it bore stark resemblance to the Holocaust, because the Holocaust is a specific genocide, right? Just like apartheid is a specific racial segregation. But regardless, I don't think there's any racial segregation in Israel.
I mean, it would be very easy to say that there are Arabs and Muslims and Jews and Christians all in the Israeli government. Arabs and Muslims and Christians who live inside of Israel and have Israeli citizenship can vote in every single election. I have been to Israel many
That's
times.
just like saying when people say they have one black friend. Or,
No, it's not. The
Wait,
Supreme
wait.
Court. The Supreme Court.
No, and that's totally fine.
I just don't. I mean,
An
I've
Arab
done- I've
sits
done
on
my
the Supreme Court in
I've
Israel?
done my due diligence.
So
All I'm
maybe-
saying is
maybe
I've
a
done my
policy?
due diligence. I'm very objective. I try to look at everything, and it just, for me, and that's why I'm speaking with you. I'm about love. I'm about peace.
I just went to Israel and I interviewed Arabs in Israel, and I asked them if they like living in Israel, and they all said yes. I asked them if there was apartheid, and they all said no.
Can I tell you too that I don't support Trump, and their hat's really disgusting.
Yeah.
And I-
Well, what I always like to ask, this may get off your subject, is
Well, hold up. Let's stay on this subject because I have one question. You said you do your due diligence, you research this. What is one policy in Israel that allows apartheid to actually exist, to be instituted? Because in South Africa, there's policy prescribed in the
do you
Constitution
agree
or the
that
law.
there was apartheid in South Africa?
Yes, they took citizenship from every black resident.
Exactly.
Every black citizen
They didn't
lost
let
their
them hold
citizenship.
office?
I've only been to Israel twice, and
Okay.
also the West Bank and other areas there. But I do know that, factually speaking, there are different rights for different people.
No, there's not. Same rights. Same rights.
Same rights.
Exact
As
same rights.
As a Muslim,
Everyone who is an Israeli citizen has the exact same rights.
if you're an Israeli citizen.
Yes, 21% of all Israeli citizens are Arabs. Most of them Muslims. An Arab Israeli sits on the Supreme Court. He's a Sunni Muslim. His name is Khalid Kabab. That's the most powerful institution in the entire country.
Can I ask when was America great? Because to say America great,
great right
again,
now.
No, but to make America great again.
Trump's first term.
From the first term. But when was the time that folks thought it was great in order to say great
Yeah.
again? Does that
Yeah,
make
no
sense?
problem.
90s.
The 90s.
Right now.
Yeah. When we were a colorblind society, for example, right? That's, I think, a big deal.
Yes.
Yes.
In DC.
Well, he's from Israel, but I'm from not from DC. I'm from New York.
You're from New York. Okay. But I'm saying the 90s were a good time for you.
I think 90s were fine. There was definitely no systemic racism in the 90s. There was no. I don't think there were many. There were issues in America, obviously. I think America was great in the 90s. I mean, there was no problems at all. I think America was great during Trump's first term, and I think it's great now. I think it was bad when Biden was in office.
Okay with some of the speech, like regardless, I just don't like my nieces and nephews that are like under 11 or 12 to hear such hateful language.
Like what?
Like at a funeral, for example, to say I hate my enemies. If you're saying you're a God, if you believe in God, you're not supposed to hate. You're not supposed to spew out things that are against
You don't have to like what he says, but that doesn't change the fact that I think America is pretty great.
Like the policies are.
You don't have to like all the things he
policies are
says.
great.
But just in terms of language, you don't think language
I don't like
matters?
all the things that Trump
I'm
says.
saying just language matters.
But do you think the
Sure,
language
language matters.
impacts me as much as policy?
Well, what I would say
for
too is like
example?
at least he
Maybe
can.
maybe you're an educated person, but there's a lot of folks that don't have the means to have formal education.
No, but
to
you
be around.
got to understand what I'm saying is that the economic policies, the border policies, things that are actually impacting me, impacting everybody that's here,
I don't like to do
is
it
that
impact
does that
person.
supersede? Or sorry,
I prefer somebody who sometimes says mean things over some. I prefer somebody who sometimes says mean things over somebody who can hardly speak. Right, and I think the previous guy could hardly speak.
Yeah, but he definitely had. I give people grace, in terms of their actual language. I mean, some people aren't as articulate.
I'm happy to give him grace, but he shouldn't have been in charge of the country. If you can't utter
he
a full,
wasn't in charge of the
Did you
country.
like Obama? Did you like the 8 years of Obama?
I think that Obama is a magnificent speaker. I think he's great, and I don't think he's as bad as Biden's administration. But yeah, I think he's smart. Yeah, he's objectively a smart person.
He was great on the border. He deported so many people. I wish Trump would do the same thing, but unfortunately, he broke the law. The court, after 8 years, decided, hey, you actually give due process when you deport individuals out of the country. So that's why he's stuck having to give due
But
process.
Did you feel bad when? I mean, you were born and raised here. Did you when January 7th happened and you seen people scaling the wall like a Scarface movie?
Yep, they should be in jail.
Did you?
Just like they should be in jail all across this country when they riot.
When 1,500 people were actually, I just talked to a lot of Capitol Police before I came here. How insulting is that to actually have people to look? If those were my black families scaling the walls of the Capitol, they would all have been shot.
Do you
That's
believe
not
in
true.
due
Wait, what
process,
about the
though?
BLM riots?
Huh? Yeah, I do believe in
People,
No, but
hold up, pause.
Oh, that's a good question,
People
actually.
were not mowed down at the BLM riots, and they did way worse than they did at the Capitol.
Even a year ago when
You
they
don't want to
tore-
go there because they wouldn't have been shot and killed. They weren't.
Even-
I was at them. I still go to them.
Yeah,
I'm a riot journalist.
What's wrong with them though?
Even a
Burning
year
buildings,
ago.
assisted housing complexes.
Did you find out who the people were guilty of doing those things?
Yeah, I watched them do
What
it.
percentage of Black Lives Matter folks were actually involved
All of them.
in that?
All of them.
All of them?
Yes.
Well, who?
Oh my gosh.
And I'm not saying it's all black people. It's white people too.
I mean,
but there were lots of black people
a
out
year
there to get
ago,
shot and
the
killed.
pro-Palestine.
It's horrible. I don't think, and everybody has a right to due process. I totally agree with that. But in terms of what happened on January 7th, there could be no people. January 6th, excuse me. There could be no people of color. There was, I think, one or two. The one guy. But
No, there was hundreds of thousands of people here. There was lots of people of color.
It was all white people.
I know several
Like, white
people of color who were here actually.
White people that are from. I don't
Topher-
know.
Topher Town
The main
music.
footage that you see was recorded by a black guy.
Oh my gosh.
It was.
What it was?
No. The main footage that you see from the interiors of the Capitol was recorded by a black
It doesn't
person.
matter. What I'm sharing is, are you saying that it wasn't like mostly white people that ran?
It was mostly white people, but what does that matter?
So it doesn't matter.
What does
What
it
about
matter?
the pro-Palestine protest a year ago?
No, it doesn't. Wait, what do you mean? They attack ICE facilities and federal buildings all the time. They did it all throughout 2014. They did it in 2020. They're doing it right now.
They
I don't know what
tore
you mean.
down through the main fence of the White House a year ago during their pro-Palestine protests, and they didn't do anything about the person that was literally over the fence.
Well, I'm glad that you agree that people should not be pardoned. That
Well,
actually killed.
I disagree with Trump on the pardon, but the problem is that the maximum sentence any of those people would have faced is probably 5 years in federal prison, and they all sat in federal prison for 5 years in solitary confinement, 23 hours a day, without
Well,
a
that's why we
sentence.
asked you about due
2025.
process.
It happened in 2020. They couldn't have said they've been released.
4 years, whatever you
Well,
want to call it. 4 years.
the-
They sat in solitary confinement, 23 hours a day, without a sentence.
And that's why we asked you about
I'm
due
here to
process,
exude-
you know?
I'm here to exude love, and I want everybody to feel compassion for anybody that's losing family members, for anybody that is, like I said, I would love to have that maybe look great again like the 90s, because I never know when America was so great prior to that. So it's the 90s.
Sure. In the 90s, there were great things about America all throughout its history. There were also bad things about America all throughout its history.
Like, I don't
As
think.
for apartheid, I don't know. There's so many countries that have spoken. I wonder if you ever agree. Do you ever agree with just the things that are going on?
All it takes for me to agree that Israel's an apartheid state
Not
is.
apartheid. How about that?
Or that having apartheid says-
some of their war practices aren't aligned with international law.
Well, that's
I
not
don't agree with that
That's not apartheid, right?
On this one thing.
What war practices do you think are not aligned with international law?
Well, the schools and the hospitals, particularly hospitals, just areas. So my feeling is this: even if you're trying to get to an enemy, it shouldn't be at the expense. Come up with some more strategies to get to an area where you know a lot of innocent people.
So international law very clearly says that once a military takes over a building, regardless of whether it's a school or hospital, it's not a military installation, it's a legitimate military target. And the fact of the matter is that most of the time Israel evacuates those people.
But do you want to
most
set
of the
that
time
precedent?
Israel evacuates those people, and there's no children in the schools, there's just terrorists. That's why they get bombed, right?
And also, do you
and all
want
the
to
way,
set that
by the way,
precedent?
more than 50% of all hospitals in Gaza are still functional.
Just not a nice way to be. I mean, if you look at other people's feelings as well, and I don't go by their feelings, I hear what they have to say, and I look at the facts of examples of seeing actual things. It's just not a way. I don't feel it's a proper way to be.
I don't think it's a proper way to break into a country and murder 1,200 people. And I think that when that does happen, you should be prepared to face the wrath of God.
Right, but once that happens, at what expense though? How long do you continue?
Well,
The expense is kill all of them. Every single member of Hamas dead. That's when we stop.
And that shouldn't. Listen, if you.
What percentage is actual Hamas?
Do you think World War II is justified?
Like babies. There's babies.
Do you think it was justified for?
They can't even speak yet.
Do you think it was justified for the Allied powers to fight Berlin in World War II?
I don't.
The Nazis. Is it good to fight the Nazis? We killed 400,000 innocent civilians in Berlin fighting the Nazis, and we bombed schools, hospitals, and lots of other public facilities. It happens in war.
If I just even focus on children, the practices, there's ways to save more children.
Yeah, it is unfortunate, and I think
If they were white children,
But who's-
or they were from...
we killed white children in Berlin. We killed white children in Berlin.
I'm sorry, can I ask you though, whose fault is it?
When you blame fault, it's just what type of love and how you show love and grace is you actually care about a human being just like you care about yourself.
Israel makes
if
evacuation
they-
orders.
If they came in, they shot, and then they went back over the border and then started to hide behind their kids and their mom, and in the process of me coming back to get them, their mom and kids get hurt, is it my fault? Or is
I
it...
don't think that's a good practice.
I think Israel's too reserved.
I don't agree that's a good practice. I believe that there should be more strategies to go around, and I do believe
But
that
that's
if
a
it
terrible
wasn't
precedent.
the marginalized community, like I said, if it was white Christians
Gazans.
from Italy, it would be different. It just would. I just know the color people's skin, people's faith, all that.
It has nothing to do with it. We killed more Germans than we killed Gazans, and also
That's a terrible precedent to set, that you
Doesn't
can
matter,
go
it's been a
commit
while.
a terrible terrorist attack like October 7th, one second, and then come back to your homeland with hostages. And as long as you surround the hostages with kids, well, that eliminates any military.
Of course, no, it's not saying eliminating. It's
So
saying
what
there's
should
more
we do?
strategies. You take your time to have more strategies so you lessen the amount of...
Well, they do that. They clear out the buildings in order to destroy them, and then
How do you respond to just the whole international community? I mean, just basically everybody's wrong.
we're all politicians.
Everybody's wrong. I'm from a space of love. I love these two brothers right here, and I don't even know them.
Yeah.
But I'm just saying, I come from a space
what
of
international
love.
law, for example, right? So genocide, I'm guessing.
It's just not nice how it's going about.
War is not nice, and if you can't fight a war, you shouldn't start one.
There's a lot of Israeli military that are not willing to, as you know. That are
You're
not
talking about Haredis, and the reason they don't want to fight in the war is because they prefer to study the Torah all day.
There's a lot more. I don't know. I don't want to generalize.
It's the Haredis. Everyone's required to serve in the military except the Haredis.
So
It's
I
those.
would caution. I would
them.
still caution how generally you do a lot of generalizations. I would still caution that.
No, he's 100%.
I've literally been to
he's
Israel and I've
100%
talked to
right
these
about
people.
that. They have massive movements in order to make these people not be part of the military.
All I'm saying is there's a reason why the hostages haven't been released.
Yeah, because they're in tunnels, and Israel can't get to them. It's not safe. You can't march down a tunnel that has hostages and they'll kill them. Oh, I was with Netanyahu 2 days ago.
Even if we hated Bibi, it's
I don't hate nobody.
okay. The alternative option in Israel is the same exact option, or the alternative option is going to do the exact same thing as Bibi's doing. Why? Because they have hostages. It's as simple as that. And for some reason, the world believes that anybody can come and commit a terrorist attack, and as long as they go and hide under kids and parents and stuff like that, nobody should do anything about that.
I don't. So listen, I'm giving you a different perspective. So for the record, I just want you to know this.
Yeah.
I am not. I believe that there should be some morals and ethics even in war. So what happened was absolutely horrible.
Yeah.
Period. But that does not give a full pass for 2 years of everything. I feel there could have been more.
But if you don't fight them, they'll just do it again. You're teaching them. They're like animals. You're teaching them that they'll do it again.
And not just that.
Hamas are animals. Their charter says the day of judgment will not come about until the Muslims fight the Jews, killing the Jews. They're animals. Their stated goal is to kill every Jew. They're animals.
Until you actually have no compassion for another human being.
I have no compassion for Hamas terrorists. They beheaded people. They slaughtered women. They raped them. They shot them dead. They laughed while they mag dumped them. I do not feel bad for them. They are animals. They are subhuman piles of garbage. They are no better than the shit I leave in the toilet.
Well, I don't know. When they commit.
African American history museum?
I have not. I don't support slavery.
No, I'm saying, have you gone to the museum to see
No,
the
I've not.
history of
I've
blacks
not.
in America? Why not? So we're-
I just haven't spent enough time in DC.
Okay, well, I would encourage you to go to the museum to see the history.
That's fine.
Because blacks were also called
Right, but
animals.
there's a difference. There's a difference, though.
Once we-
Blacks were called animals because of their skin color. I call Hamas animals because of their beliefs.
I'm just
The difference.
sharing that it's still important. But there's so many people that aren't Hamas.
Do you think Hitler was an animal?
I don't feel anybody is an animal.
I think Hitler is an animal, and I'm proud to say it.
I'm really
But
proud to say it.
I'm still going to promote kindness and love and still fight for
But
being
you-
fair.
I'm going to promote that if Hitler was alive, he should have been tortured for 10 years before he was finally killed. That's my view.
You don't think you don't think Hitler's an animal?
I'm not going to look at. Like I continue to say, I'm coming from a space of love and compassion, and there are people that do horrific acts, and I do believe what is happening right now is a horrific act towards folks that aren't deserving of the wrath that should be.
I have no love or compassion for Adolf Hitler or Hamas terrorists.
And I say this respectfully,
I'm
but
not saying
unfortunately, this position of even when they come over to our border and slaughter 1,300 of our own people, this mindset that we have to show love and compassion to terrorists is unfortunately what destroys Western civilization. It's exactly what unfortunately happened in the Roman Empire.
I was very sad that day as well. I can be sad for everybody, but I still continue to say there are better practices, more practices in what's been going on.
Well,
bomb them harder.
Israel drops leaflets to let people know
They
to
make
get
mass phone
evacuated.
calls, they send out mass text messages, they set up evacuation zones.
A lot of people don't even have their
Not true.
phones.
How do you think you see videos? How do you see videos from Gaza?
I'm sure I said a lot of people. I'm not saying-
Oh, most of them have phones. They have the iPhone 17 right now. It just dropped. They have it in Gaza. The iPhone 17 already.
Like I said,
The
You
borders
said you're
are apparently
objective,
closed.
so we want to
One
look
life
at
is
it
not better than
objectively.
another.
Mine's better than Adolf Hitler. That's for sure. Mine's also better than Hamas
We're
terrorists.
talking about the present day right now.
You said no life is better than one or the other. Mine is better than Hamas terrorists. It's also better than Adolf Hitler.
Even if I read scripture in the eyes of God, that we need to show more compassion and love. And I don't.
I have
think
no
that's-
compassion for Hitler. I'm also
I'm talking about Hitler. I never.
You said no person is better than another. It's not true. I am better than Hitler.
People do horrible acts.
Yes, they do, and they're bad people, and they should be killed for it.
I hope you two are praying for peace.
I pray every night.
You are praying for the release of hostages. I hope you're praying for, the mourning of folks that have lost their children, their parents. There's just too much hate in the world, and we need to be more compassionate.
I think there's not enough.
I hope, that's, not enough hate.
Not enough
What is
hate.
gonna bring?
Well, hate for terrorists hopefully brings dead terrorists. I would hope, and less death, ultimately.
I mean, showing compassion and love to terrorists.
Preaches hate all the time.
He doesn't preach hate. What does he say that's hateful?
Oh my gosh, please. I mean, I've been in a woman of color. It can be
He
very
loves women.
Why do you think?
No, but if I'm saying I'm offended, I need you to hear my pain.
Well, you can be offended, but that doesn't make you right.
Don't convince me that I can't be offended by something.
His chief of staff is a woman.
Yeah.
Like, he doesn't hate women. And you can be offended by whatever he says. It doesn't make you right.
No. But what I'm saying is be open to the idea that people.
We are open, and we look
whether
at it
you have a niece
objectively
or a
that
daughter, that they may say, if a niece or daughter comes to you one day and just says, "Hey, that was very offensive to me as a woman," I want you to be like, "Oh wow, I didn't see it that way." But at least be open.
If I walk up to David and I say, "You're ugly," and he says, "That's very offensive to me as a Jew," that doesn't mean that I'm anti-Semitic, right? It just means I think David's ugly.
yeah.
You see what I'm saying?
Yeah, but why not just have proper language? Why not beautify?
If
our
I say you're beautiful, and then he says that's offensive to me as a Jew, that doesn't mean I hate Jews, right?
No, what I'm saying is, I just think we need to be more mindful of our speech. Let's be more connected.
Right, but that doesn't mean he's hateful. He's not hateful.
Okay, if you say so.
He's completely surrounds himself with women. It's
Thank
all right.
you.
See you. Have a good one.
Oh, we don't go there.